Hi, I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're here at Siggraph 2016, and I'm here with Stephen Regelous from Massive Software. Did I get it right?
Regelous.
Regelous! Thank you for coming and letting me just bastardize your name. I'm sorry about that. But so we're here at Siggraph, and you guys have some new announcements.
Yes.
Can you talk about what's new with the crowd? Well, first of all, I wanted to say that Massive was essentially one of the first companies to come out with crowd software, and that was how long ago?
Well, I finished up on Lord of the Rings, and then we started selling Massive around 2003. So we formed the company around then and started the first sales. I think the Mill was our first customer in 2003, I think that was.
So there's been a lot since then, but why don't you talk about some of the newest tools within the software?
Well, this week we had our user group meeting, and I showed them this new thing that we've released this week called the Parts Library. Last year we had a new feature which enabled you to just have parts of brains saved separately in separate files, which means you can share those bits of brains amongst agents, which is cool. But the really powerful thing is having this library of parts that anyone, even someone who knows nothing about crowd software, can just drop these parts into an agent and get a custom agent in seconds, really. Definitely minutes, but even seconds. I mean, I did a quick test to see what I could build. I made a really complex agent out of the parts library in 29 seconds.
29 seconds. So why don't you explain to people what agents are if they're not familiar?
Yeah, the agents are the sort of autonomous characters that form the crowd. So you've got the software, but the software itself is, that doesn't make the characters. You have to build your characters and put them in there. We sell characters, or agents as we call them. I don't like to call them characters because characters are what somebody creates, hand animation or whatever, but these things are autonomous. They perform on their own. They're sort of artificial intelligence agents, which is the term from the artificial intelligence community, which was also used for the Matrix. We didn't steal it from them or them from us. So we've got our own library of agents that we sell or rent, and for example, a lot of people use Massive for stadium television commercials and movie things, and so they need to fill a stadium, so they rent our stadium agent.
Now, there have been updates. You're adding more detail to these agents. Can you get into that?
Yeah, well, the agents have been around for a while now, and we've been gradually improving the geometry and shaders and stuff for them, but now that there's a lot of 4K production and people tend to use CG elements for much more of the production and much more of the shot, we decided that we needed to up the spec of the look of the agents and make them just look a lot better. So we improved the texture maps and bump maps and everything, and we added a lot more geometry. We've got beards and glasses and hats and scarves and all kinds of stuff. So they look really cool now.
Some more updates. So you have something for Macs, is that correct?
Yes, the people that have been following us will know that we announced Massive for Macs last year, but we've just announced its release this year, and the reason for the big gap was that we'd done it in a very Mac-centric way because we figured the Mac users don't want to step too far out of their comfort zone. But actually, we decided to redo the UI and make it a bit more like the Massive UI, because we found that if you hide everything in the little menus on the side in Macs, it kind of gets lost and bitsy, and it wasn't really a good workflow. So we took the Massive workflow and integrated it into Macs, and now we have a much better UI. You can find things easily, and it works really well. The other reason is that rendering, of course, is very important, and some of the Macs community, they're like architects or whatever, they're not the most technical people on the visual effects side. They might not know how to set up a render farm. They might rely on Deadline or Backburner or something to get the files onto the render farm, but the agents won't have made it onto the render farm, so when they hit the render button, nothing turns up. So we had to come up with a way to magically get the agents onto the render farm without the user having to worry about it. And it took us a while to do that, but we've got it now.
And it's shipping?
We started shipping it on Monday.
Oh, great. Okay. Anything that I haven't asked that's important?
Wow. Well, that's what we have for this year. We had a couple of other things at our user group meeting, but we're waiting a while before we tell the public about those. So there's more cool things coming, but that's about it for now.
Okay, fair enough. Stephen, thank you so much for coming by. I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective, and we're here at Siggraph 2016.